Good morning. I'm Angela Hughes, the luxury travel entrepreneur, and I am here today with a very special guest, Daniel Santiago-Diaz with Regal Wings. Welcome to my program today.
Thank you so much for having me, Angela. This is great.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself, your background, where you came from, who your mother is. No.
So I'm actually Puerto Rican, born and raised down in Puerto Rico. That's where I'm actually at right now. I moved down here a couple of years ago. I started in the travel industry serendipitously, let's say. I was kind of headhunted for the Puerto Rico tourism company here, which was before the DMO that we now have. The government actually did the marketing for the destination, and I spent 5 years covering New England area. So I did Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. In Rhode Island. And then I shared also Connecticut and other areas. So I did a lot of blitzes. And from then I moved to Regal Wings, which is a whole different ballgame from destinations because it's a service for travel agents only, which is airfare, something that's a very tricky thing for some of the agents.
Tell me a little bit about, okay, there's so many factors into what you sell now with Regal Wings. Let's just dive right into this. Let's start with the yachts because, well, no, let's actually start with the private jets for a minute
Okay.
because I kind of want to leave the yachts on when we pick up some traffic here in a minute. So,
Yeah.
let's go to private jets for a minute.
Basically, private jets is something that we've always done.
Mhm.
Years ago, before the pandemic, we all knew that private jets was a very murky and gray, I want to say, business for travel agents because you did have so many providers some of them were geared towards business to business, some of them were basically more towards consumers. We did have a lot of agents that came to us and say, you know what, we normally don't do private jets because clients have actually been, usurped from us and they've been taken away from us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different problems that we used to have before with private jets. Now coming into the pandemic, there was a need for travel agents to have a trusted supplier. So we basically revamped all our service for the private jets. We partner up with this technology company based out of Toronto, but they actually created a sort of a soft pricing booking engine. So travel agents can actually go in and say, this is what I need. This is where my client is going to. We'll give you a range of pricing that helps you guys kind of understand what pricing you can present to your client. And then we can actually request a hard pricing, or they can actually request a hard quote pricing when the clients accept whatever soft pricing they gave them. So we kind of took out the time frame of, so I'm going to go in, go get pricing, and then come back to you. So the agents can be more responsive to clients, which is needed.
How many people or how many advisors now are switching over to private jets? Is it still a small amount of advisors only working with the Uber high elite, or are you seeing it more just in the premium space as well?
I see everything actually. We've been getting, the last request that I got that I was flabbergasted about was a $1.1 million quote, and it was 500 people, and it was a normally cruise agent doing a corporate trip.
Crazy.
So again, these are not people that are normally on that spectrum that do know clients. They do have clients, and once they put out there, hey, you know what, now I can offer you a private jet. She came back and she's like, I've never gotten this type of request. I literally just market it out there, and this is a very small company that has 500 plus people, and they want to take everybody to Cancun for a retreat. So again, every spectrum of agents are kind of getting, not even, I don't want to say a client, but at least getting interest. And that's what's important. If you get interest, that means you do have the clientele for it.
Do you work with other tour operators or just advisors, or who's mainly your market?
Mainly it's travel agents. We do work a lot with the host agencies. We do work a lot with the virtuoso agents. Obviously, after the pandemic, there was a lot of problems with a lot of the consolidators and airfare suppliers. A lot of them didn't answer the phones. A lot of them went out of business. So we kind of took up now much more of having both agents and some small tour operators, some small niche kind of providers that are looking for airfare. They normally don't get into that game, but because clients want to do everything with one person, they're trying to now cater airfare as well as, even if it's an FIT, a small boat tour, or whatever they do.
How much more affordable is it to do private air than compared to like first class air? Or how can we juggle that so we,
compared to a couple of years ago, is much more attainable now to do a private jet. Obviously, anything that's going transoceanic is going to be a price that is over $100,000. But there are specific routes that are very populated with private jets. For example, the East Coast, you have a lot of going north to south, New York down to Miami. That sometimes you can get deals that are $7,000 for a 6-person flight. So that's something that it happens sometimes. But yeah, you have an attainable price depending on how you market it. I always say, if you have a family that's going to a villa, you have a big family that really wants to get everybody together, those are people that really kind of see private jets as a way of them to cutting cost on maybe transportation, on maybe waiting on the airport as well, because with private jets, you can just go in, get into the plane and go. Same thing with baggage. People that travel with a lot of baggage sometimes see private jets as a way to kind of get everything together. An example that I always give agents is destination weddings. You don't have to do a round trip private jet, but maybe coming down to a destination wedding, the bride can bring her dress. They can have champagne. You can bring, bridegroom and their parents. So it only have to be 6 people, and you can make it a little bit of an experience as well as helping them be at ease while getting to the wedding, because the anxiousness of just being in the airport, this, that, all the other things, that there's a price attached to that. So the calm and tranquility is what people are now looking for. But yeah, now it's very attainable depending on the budget and what they're looking for. Domestic is king now. So anything domestic is pricing very, very well. People going down to Miami, Vegas, going down to Martha's Vineyard. So stuff like that is very populated. Prices are going good. And I also see a lot of the Caribbean and West Mexico as well, West and East Mexico doing well with travel agents.
Is there a breaking point where like a certain number makes it more affordable? Like, would you say like, 12 is my breaking point, or what?
We always say about eight people, because remember that the cutoff from a mid-range to a long range is between 8 to 12 people. So that long range, or that space for long range, is normally 12 and above. So I always say keep it between, I want to say 6 and 8, 9 people, 10 at most. That's something that could be attainable.
Okay, so if you're just tuning in, I am with Daniel Santiago-Diaz from Regal Wings, and we're talking all things yachts and private jets and premium air market today, helping travel advisors grow more into the space that's like so profitable, first of all. And right now we are talking private jets, and we're talking about the sweet point of how many people you really need to make it, worthwhile. And he's saying anywhere from 6 to 8 to 12 really is your span right there. And so if you're looking at doing a large family or a multi-gen, you might want to take a look at private jets with Regal Wings and get a quote, because it might be more affordable. He also said for destination weddings, it's really a hot seller, because you might be able to take the whole party down there on that and save some money. And these are ideas that I just don't kind of generally think about. We block the destination wedding, or we block the space, and then I don't think like, how are we going to get everybody there? In terms of like that's the old school in me, that I'm not thinking more progressive. And so I'm really glad that we're having this conversation today.
And now agents really, and not only agents, clients really want to look now at very remote places. And sometimes very remote places don't have international airports very close by. So people really have to think about that. For example, sometimes we do Costa Rica, and I get people into San Jose, and then from San Jose, we have to take a private jet down to a smaller airport because there's no airplanes that go to that destination. Right. So again, it doesn't have to be something that it has to be a whole private jet trip. It can be, do commercial, and then inside the country, you that do a lot of Africa, that sometimes going from camp to camp, you do have to have a charter. You do have to have a private plane. because there's not a lot of airports in Africa, especially in the bush. So we do a lot of that as well. That people want to go from Uganda to Rwanda, they want to go from Kenya to South Africa, so they do a charter because it's easier for them. So things like that, people don't think about it. Same thing with we do a lot of river cruises because people want to back to back river cruises, and there's no flights from one destination to another, and sometimes a private jet works better. So why not do a private jet? So again, these are ideas that people don't really think about, but now because clients are looking at extended vacations, remote places, travel bubbles, now we have to think about this as a way for them to also kind of maintain that exclusivity and also do it on a budget.
Okay, let's say there's a couple of two people, and they want to fly privately, but they don't have the whole party. Is there ever kind of a small group pricing that goes with that? Like, you kind of take up 4 people you don't know, and
we do have empty legs. We do have empty legs, but our empty legs is not a seat. We do the whole plane. So, for example, I had a friend of mine that was actually moving down to Puerto Rico, and we got her an empty leg for about $12,000, and it was something that normally we do for 20-25. So she saved a big buck, but those are sometimes short term. So it's either this same week or the next week, because they're repositioning a plane, or normally they're not round trips, so it would be a one-way down. So it's for a specific type of client that my friend specifically was just moving down to Puerto Rico, so they didn't need to go round trip. So it worked out perfectly for her because she also had a lot of luggage. So she actually got a 7-seat plane from Miami to Puerto Rico for about a price of, probably 40% of what we normally get it for.
So it's amazing. Okay, here's what Jennifer Hand says. I love Regal Wings. Excellent customer service. I can't wait to book with them again.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Already good feedback coming in. Okay, let's move on for a minute, and let's talk premium airspace for a minute, and away from private jets. I know are you guys a consolidator?
Yes, so our bread and butter is basically a consolidator. We do first and business class airfare. We did add premium economy about 2 years ago. And we do some economy for agents that are looking to book everything with one agent. Sometimes people have a group that are some going with business, some going economy. So we sometimes do service economy, which are not our best pricings, but we do it. But our bread and butter is first and business class international airfare, anything going over 6 hours to Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, Australia, New Zealand, the Pacific, and the Middle East. So again, the overlooks, top cabins, center of the plane, so front of the plane type of seats. And we normally get them before the pandemic between 10 and 50% off. Now it's leveling off a little bit more. Obviously, remember that there's a very shrunk market now, let's say. There's not a lot of routing out there yet because the airlines are still opening routes. So there's a very big shrunken offer of business class seats, but we see it opening up as more destinations open up. We'll see more routings opening up little by little.
How about with the advisor's train of thought right now? A lot of people are afraid to use consolidators after, I was about to say 9/11, after COVID.
That was 9/11. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like 9/11 after COVID because they felt like they got burned with so many consolidators who weren't refunding, et cetera, when the airlines were.
Yeah, and that's something that we definitely, obviously, we were not perfect in every sense. We did learn a lot from this, as everybody else learned, because agents I know learned a lot about insurance in the COVID era. So we did learn a lot, but the good thing about us is that we're very customer service oriented. We don't have a booking engine. We do have actual human reservation agents that you can talk to, that you can ask questions. They do have a rapport with our agents. So a lot of the agents see me in shows and they're like, oh my God, say hello to Maria, say hello to Judy. So the good thing about us is that we are human. We're not here to just leave you on the phone. We're also very available. I'm a person that I'm always out there. You see me that I'm always posting stuff. So the good thing about us is that we are customer service oriented. So we really want to help the agents. Some of the consolidators out there before were more of a technology company. They were good about the booking engines. They were good about, having it in front of them. But once the agent started the process, then they were lost, and then they did X, Y, or Z error, and then they couldn't go back. So with us, the good thing is that we do the whole thing. We research the airfare, we book for you, we can hold if you guys need it to be held, we can hold it for you guys, we can book it, and we also do the cancellations and the refunds. So again, clients don't have to deal with the airlines unless there's a specific reason that they need to, either the credit, something happened with the credit, or yada, yada, yada. But we normally take care of the whole thing for them, which helps them first be at ease of mind and kind of focus on the other thing that it's selling. Right now, they should be focused on selling, not on getting credit backs to the airlines.
Right. And do you guys follow the same airline policies, or do you have your own set of?
We have the same airline policies on the tickets. They are obviously, again, after COVID, we've had to put in some sort of fees that are going to be now disclosed later on. But yeah, we have to follow the same rules as all the airlines.
Okay, and so you guys charge a booking fee to use Regal?
No, we don't charge a booking fee, but there's a credit card booking fee that we are going to be disclosing now, which was the one that wasn't disclosed at the beginning.
Prior. Okay.
So we had a lot of the consolidators have the same problem. We do have credit card charges that everybody that uses a credit card knows, the 3-4%. Those were not, normally we did not charge that over, but when we have to recall commissions, we have to recall that as well. So that was the little shakiness with us. The good thing about our clientele and the high-end clientele is that most of them do want to get the credits because they're high-end flyers, they have points, so they already know what they want. So most of them do get credits, and now it's just basically rebooking those credits.
Okay, let's move on to yachts right now, because I feel like that's the crowning glory of everything. Let's talk yachts for a minute and tell me what the deal is with that, because that's a new space for you guys.
Yes, we just started that because, again, same as private jets, clients are looking up for a travel bubble, looking for a space for them to be alone with their family. So we saw yachts as a very good progression to what we were doing with the private jets. We saw that private jets were doing very well with us, so we started doing yachts. So we do anything from any day trip boats. For example, if you guys are doing in Miami and you guys want to do a day trip to the Bahamas, we can get you a charter. We can do that day trip and just come back. Same thing as if you guys want to do something in the Caribbean, we can do a Caribbean yacht. It can be something, coming out of San Juan, going out of St. Thomas. You can have a couple of days, visit a couple of destinations, and then go back to a villa and stay in the villa. As well as we can do a mega yacht. If you guys want to do the Greek Isles or a catamaran and just go around the Isles, we can do the same thing as well. Remember that with this, it's the same as a private jet. Some of those private charter companies will give you transportation. So if your client has to be brought from home to the yacht, we can do that as well, or from the hotel to the yacht, we can have that. We can have any type of menu that they want. If they want a chef as well, we can have a chef there. So it's a full service thing where the agent really we take care of what the agent needs without them really have to move that much. Again, we'll offer them the yacht. Those yachts are normally done by days. Some of the yachts have to have a minimum of 5 days to 7 days, depending on the prices. So again, we take care of all the information and we digest it for the agent. And once we give them a price, all that is right there. So they can have.
Okay, so walk me through the booking process of booking a yacht, because I know that we have lots of advisors who this is like an ancient Chinese secret or something.
So it's the same as a private jet. You let us know, hey, this is what I need. This is where they're going. I just had somebody that is going.
What budget could we start in for a private yacht?
For a private yacht, depending on what they want, how big they want, they can start from $30,000 to $40,000. For example, 4 or 5 days, and it can go up to $500,000 million if it's a mega yacht that has a space for 20, 25 people. It has a pool, helipad, yada yada yada. So from $30,000 to $40,000, you can get a yacht that has 5, 6, 7 cabins. So divide that between 7 people, and you have a pretty budget, good, nice hotel out there. Like I said, so those prices are mostly all inclusive, unless they want some specific menus. And some of them do have, again, all the services like cabin crew. They have a chef. Gas is most of the time is included. So again, it's a full all-inclusive price unless the client wants something very specific, or there's something that they want that that the charter company doesn't provide. Then they can actually order it, and it's added to the price. But it will be the same thing. We normally do offer options depending on what they want. It's not like private jets that you could have a whole lot of options, but depending on what port you guys are looking for. Obviously, you guys know Miami, Fort Lauderdale, you have an array of different charter companies, so you do have a much more big offering there. But smaller islands, Caribbean, do have limited spaces and limited boat availability depending on what they want. So we do try to give you options. We try to give you as well pictures so you guys can show your client what they're doing. They can see the cabins, they can see what it is. Normally we give them refurbished data if it was refurbished. Again, what amenities it's included with. And again, any transportation or any add-ons that they could add. For example, if they want any type of water sports, some yachts do include some water-related sports, but if they want a kayak, if they want a paddleboard, stuff like that, then that's some of the things that we'll add. Like, hey, you could have that in board if you want to. So again,
okay, I've got a question right off the bat because we've got 2 yachts going in Croatia next summer with a different company before we met you. In their proposal, they said you may want to carry a type of insurance to cover the overall cost of the yacht. What is that all about? And is that something that you could expand on?
Yeah, so we normally do tell clients to always get the insurance. Obviously,
is that a travel insurance then?
Yeah, it'll be the same as a travel insurance, because you do have a private yacht does have an insurance company, but the same as the airfare. Always overinsure. Now I always say that you have to overinsure now, because there's so many variables happening in the world right now that we don't know about, that it's always good to have your separate independent travel insurance, even though you already are insured with whatever the private charter has.
Okay.
And
okay.
it's just peace of mind.
So let's start what the booking process is. And you know what, just based on what you're telling me is, I'm always so shocked because I see families spending $50,000 in Mexico, and I'm like, you can easily convert them over to like the yacht business. So if you're following this, we're always teaching marketing strategies in here. And that's one thing, convert some of these higher priced all-inclusives. And, Royal Caribbean, even I see families spending tens of thousands of dollars on Royal Caribbean that you could be spending on a private yacht, which would be so much more amazing, right?
No, and something that it's much more personal. It's something that you'll enjoy with your family. Again, you guys choose wherever you want to go. Like, you can do a set itinerary, for example, but it can go some other way. Like, for example, you can go to the Caribbean, and from Puerto Rico down, you have St. Thomas, St. John's. Like, you can even go for one island or the other. Like, you can pick and choose. So it makes it a little bit more exciting than saying, oh, so you're going, like the Royal Caribbean will be, you go to this island, this island, this island, and this island. So again, it's a little bit of a different experience than what normally agents.
So somebody is just booking the days. If they want to go to the Caribbean, they're just booking the days, and then they can say, I want to do St. Bart's, I want to do Anguilla, or
exactly.
So that they can help choose their itinerary. So let's start with the booking process, start to finish. Someone calls you up and they're like, we've got 10 people, $50,000. What can we do?
Yeah. So for example, somebody comes in and say, hey, I have a client that wants to go, yachting in the Caribbean. And normally this is their book of friends. Normally it's like a group of friends or a family. And we say, okay, so let me know how many of them are sleeping there. If how many cabins are you looking for? If there's like 3 couples, 3 cabins, you want one more. And we normally get that information. And once we have all that, we start researching. Again, the research depends on the charter company that we're looking for, because again, we're a broker. We do own a yacht. We're going to talk about that later. We do own our own fleet, and we are going to be having more localized domestic yachts, but we are a broker. So whatever the charter company sends us, we normally, again, send a package. Information, we try to give, like I said, as much information as we can. Clients normally don't have that much questions apart from what we send them, of what we send them, because we're very detailed on everything, even the captain. Like, we have to obviously know what the captain is, the experience of the captain, so all that is listed. And once we send that, the client can let us know, hey, they really want to book this. Let me know how it is. Same thing as private jet. We do have to have some payment form in a hold for us. We do normally have to hold, I think, 50%, if I'm not mistaken, depending on the charter company. Some charters do ask for 100%, but normally they do ask for 50% upfront, and then 50% about 2 or 3 days before the charter. They do have to have the final payment done. That's when we send the last invoice if there's anything that they ordered in between the time they booked the first thing and now. So if they added anything, we'll add that to the last price. Like I said, any transportation or anything like that. And once they book, it's basically their boat. Same as a private jet. They have their cabin crew is gonna be there. Their chef, if they want to have a chef, is gonna be there. They're brought in. Same as a private jet. You'll have somebody that will receive you in your yacht. They'll show you around. And again, it's like their own palace in the water.
Do you find that just normal people are yachting?
Yes.
Or is it,
Yes.
okay, give me some.
Especially day trip boating is getting bigger, way bigger, because again, people just want to be by themselves for the whole day.
Yeah, yeah.
So I see that a lot, especially when people are going to like cruises and they have 1 or 2 days before in Miami or Fort Lauderdale. I see a lot of like, hey, let's just go for a day trip to Bahamas, or let's just do a little bit of the Isles. Sometimes they go even down to Key West, which is long, but sometimes they do go down there.
Mm-hmm. What's a day trip like if you want to go out to the Bahamas? I'm just curious.
So it's not that much actually. We've done some for like 10, 15,000. Again, much more higher end. It was 15, 20 people. They did have catering. They did have some sort of things, but sometimes it can be as long as $5,000-$6,000 for a day trip with 4 or 5 people. Again, you do have the water sports. You do have things to do. You also, if it's a charter company has a special spot, they'll bring you to a special spot where you guys can hang out. So again, this is a much more different type of day trip than they normally would have somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. So think about your corporate, your incentives, your MICE groups, you guys.
And if you're sending a group down as well, I would say that if you're sending a group of friends for a cruise, and you're going to be spending 1 or 2 days in Florida or in San Juan or something like that, give them a day trip. Give them something to do before they go into the boat, where they're going to have thousands of people around. Just get them to do whatever they want to do in their small little bubble.
Okay, what's hot in terms of destinations from what you're seeing coming back? Let's talk
right now in the yachting side. Caribbean and Greece is huge, because obviously Greece opened up. There's so many islands in Greece that you can actually visit that are small islands that are not super crowded. And they also have some people that you can also do, southern Italy and Greece. So some people do combine some sort of cultural foodie and then the partying as well. So you do have a lot of people doing that. We also, the Caribbean has always been a big yachting section because you have so many different little islands. So something starting from San Juan down. Sometimes I have people that have gone all the way down to Mustique from here. So again, people are really kind of trying to get the most out of their space that they have. St. Bart's is also huge for yachting. On the Mexico side, East Mexico, Cancun, the whole Bush area, Cancun, that's also a very big side. But yeah, normally the same destinations. Miami is always going to be big because you have the charter companies there. So that's a very crowded space. But there are amazing charter companies and charter boats that out there that are, incredible. So yeah, I think Greece, obviously Croatia as well. That's always huge as well. But again, little by little, now that we see the destinations opening up, for now, Greece is king.
Yeah, crazy. I'm there for like 21 days in September, but I'm just wondering how crowded it's going to be. Now it's like our only summer destination, really.
Yes, it is. And that's something that people are telling me as well. Like now, not only people are worried about, I'm going to travel, is it going to be so crowded when I travel?
It was so overpopulated in tourism before, and I was in Greece and Dubrovnik the summer right before COVID, and I was thinking, whoa, it's out of control. We've ruined the world.
What's happening in Venice that they really took that stand about having the ships be in the city center. I think those are good ideas for us to understand how, over tourism, it is kind of a problem. So again, Yachts is an amazing spot, an amazing way to not feel like, you're over tourism or over over sending people to any destination.
Well, I was even in Capri same summer because we were over there for like a month, and Capri, there were so many boats. I was like, but you don't feel quite as like on a boat, you're still spaced. So you can have a million boats in the water. We've just gone mad in the world. Okay, we have a few more minutes. Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, nothing, guys. I really just want to put myself out there. If you guys need anything from either first business class airfare to premium economy, as well as any Yacht or Yacht charters, again, we're always here to help. We're a very customer service oriented company. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate. I'm always in LinkedIn. I'm always in Facebook. You probably have seen my posts in the luxury travel marketing strategies group. So don't hesitate to reach out and just say, hey, Daniel, I may have a client. You don't have to have a specific client, or you don't have to have somebody that asks. Pitch. You can pitch, hey, what about this? What about a charter? What about going for your wedding, going down on a private jet? You can splurge a little bit now that you saved all this money. And again, same thing with the airfare. I always have a lot of clients that are very scared about upselling. Upselling is not a bad thing, guys.
Yeah.
Upsell. If you guys have a client that has the money to go business, don't even ask, hey, I'm just going to put this business class price here just in case you're interested. I just put it in your file, or I sent it with that email. So again, don't be scared, because people do want to splurge. People are looking at other things, more safety and privacy than comfort. So again, think about that. Business class lounge is not only the seat. Business class is not only the seat. You have the lounge access where people can actually wait. The lounge access, they can have a shower. Some of them have massages. You can eat there before going to a plane. You can have a drink. You board early. You deplane early. So again, these are things that some of the clients are now going to be more interested in than before COVID. So again, don't be afraid to upsell.
Right. Perfect. I love everything about this. So you guys reach out to Daniel Santiago-Diaz. that's a big thing. And, try to upsell into this yacht and premium space. I've had so many good ideas come to my mind just in talking to you today. And that's why it's so important we continue to educate ourselves on options. These were not things that we could do 20 years ago when we owned a brick and mortar shop. We didn't think in those terms.
Exactly.
So it's a conversion of your mindset when you're selling luxury travel. Think of what is available to do. And this is a big what is available to do right here. So many options with this. And I'll tell you, it's an easy sell. I had an advisor put out 2 yachts during COVID, like in November, and sold all of the spaces on it with the deposit. And, it was probably cheaper than like a Seabourn cruise, honestly, by the time they broke it down. And so such an experience to be able to do that in Croatia. So Regal Wings has all of this for you guys. So I'm Angela Hughes. I'm the luxury travel entrepreneur. Keep following me in this group. We have tons of great things coming up. And Thursday, we have another program this week where we're bringing on Index Select and some of their suppliers, and it's going to be amazing. So watch out for that. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.